Imagine for a moment that you are faced with the task of moving all your belongings to a new place. What steps would you take to make the process more efficient? Well, you'd probably start by sorting items and packing them into boxes, and then labeling those boxes so that you have an idea of what each one contains. After moving them, you put each box in the room it belongs, to make unpacking quicker and easier. You can also think of programming in a similar way to packing and moving boxes. You have many different data types at your disposal, but coding efficiently starts with knowing when and where to use them. In this video, you'll learn to identify the primitive data types in JavaScript. You will learn about their specific use cases and when to use each data type. There are 7 primitive data types in JavaScript. These are string, number, boolean, null, undefined, big int, and symbol. Let's begin by learning about the first 2, which are strings and numbers. Let's say that you are building an e-commerce app for selling guitars. When a user views the page for the most popular model, you want them to see the name of the guitar, the description, the best guitar around, and the price of $375. Seems simple enough, right? But how can you ensure that the information displayed on screen is stored effectively so that the app can use it? You would do this by using the most appropriate data types. But what does data mean exactly? Well, each piece of information in your app has a different value, and all values are collectively referred to as data. But the values differ and therefore need to be stored differently. For example, you store the name and description as text values, and the price as a numerical value. In JavaScript, text values are known as the string data type, while numerical values are referred to as the number data type. From a programming perspective, making a distinction between numbers and text is important because they adhere to different rules. For example, to build a number, you simply type in the numerical values, but to build a string in JavaScript, the characters must be enclosed in either single or double quotes. There is also a difference in the number of combinations that the number and string data types can store. The number data type has a very wide range in JS, enough for most common use cases. However, it is limited up to a point, determined by JavaScript's calculation capabilities. The string data type practically has an unlimited number of combinations of characters. There is almost an infinite number of ways we can combine different characters into strings. Okay, so back to our app example. The data must be stored using different types. The price will be stored as a number, while the name and description will be stored as strings, with each one wrapped in double quotes. You now know that the string data type is great for storing values such as titles and descriptions, while the number data type is better suited for prices or any value that you would like to calculate. However, there are additional data types in JavaScript to help you tackle different tasks. Next, let's explore each of the remaining data types and their specific use cases, to better understand how you might make good use of them. Let's think of each one as a box, like I mentioned earlier. The Boolean data type has only 2 values, true and false. This means that it is useful for making decisions. Sometimes it's necessary to know when a variable does not contain a value, and JavaScript has 2 data types to express just that. First, there is the null data type, which only has the value null and represents the absence of value. You also have the undefined data type, which can only hold the value undefined, and usually refers to a variable that has not yet been assigned a value. The capabilities of JavaScript have evolved over time, and version ES6 introduced 2 new primitive data types to help with more complex tasks. One is the big int data type, which is like an extra large box that can accommodate a much greater range of numbers than the number data type. Finally, there is the symbol data type, which can be used as a unique identifier. Think of it as having multiple boxes with the same label and using different serial numbers to avoid mixing them up. In this video, you've learned about the various data types available in JavaScript. Remember that every data type has a specific use case, and knowing when to apply each one will make you a better coder. See you next time.